In this video, I'm going to show you how to fix your anterior pelvic tilt in a very easy to follow step-by-step guide. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Dr. Rowe coming to you from SpineCare in St. Joseph, Michigan. In this video, we're going to go over easy exercises that can quickly fix anterior pelvic tilt, which is a postural issue where the front of the pelvis draws downward and the back of the pelvis draws upward. This increases the curve of the lower back. This is a big issue because over time, it makes it more likely that you can develop lower back, hip, and sciatica pain. What usually causes this is a blend of tightness and weakness in specific muscles that support the back, hips, and pelvis. To fix this, we're going to break the video up into a very easy to follow step-by-step guide that is going to help lengthen and strengthen these muscles. I know nobody wants to hear this, but this is a video where you have to do all of the exercises to get the best results. So with that being said, let's get started and fix your anterior pelvic tilt right now for good. So let's start by warming up the muscles and releasing soft tissue tightness. That is just getting everything loosened up. What we're going to focus on is not only releasing tight muscles, but also helping to reset your anterior pelvic tilt posture. So this one right here is actually called the pelvic tilt exercise. Pretty fitting, huh? And I would recommend doing this one every time that you wake up in the morning. It's a great exercise that's pretty much going to target all the muscles associated with anterior pelvic tilt. So for this one, we're going to lie flat on our back in bed or on a floor. Knees bent, feet flat. We're going to do what is known as a Kegel exercise to begin with. This one's going to help strengthen the pelvic floor. It's a pretty basic movement. What we're going to do is suck our belly button towards our spine as much as we can until we feel the abs and the core muscles start to engage, and then hold this position. We're next going to squeeze our glutes to engage those and also the pelvic floor muscles. Again, hold this position. Now what we're going to do is build into our pelvic tilt or our pelvic rocker. So rock your hips forward like this, tucking your tailbone towards you as much as you can. This will really intensify that engagement of the core muscles and the glutes. You want to hold this one comfortably for a second or two, and then you're going to go in reverse, rocking your hips backward like this. It's kind of like taking your bottom and pressing it into the floor or the bed. Again, holding this for a second or two. And then from there, you're just going to repeat this over and over again for about 10 to 15 repetitions in both directions. And with each repetition, try to build into it just a little bit more. Afterwards, see how you feel. If there's still some tightness left, throw in another set or two until everything is nice and loose. But if you want to take this one to the next level, you can incorporate a self-massage that also usually feels really, really good. We're going to focus on three main muscle groups with this one: the glutes, the quadratus lumborum or the QL muscle, and the erector spinae muscles. For this one, we need something soft and round. A tennis ball works perfectly. You can also use something like a lacrosse ball, handball, racquetball. If you don't have any of those, take several socks, roll them up into a ball. It should work. So let's start with the glutes first. You're going to take the ball right here and center it right over your bottom. And then you're going to press your body weight into the ball to cause a good self-massage, but not causing any discomfort. And then from there, you're just going to repeat that rocking motion just like this, going forward and backward. I like to do this roughly about 3 to 5 times and then see how I feel. If it needs some more repetitions, throw in as many as needed until that tightness finally releases. But if you have like one certain spot, maybe there's a big muscle knot, spasm, or trigger point that just won't release, start attacking the muscle fibers at different angles. So instead of rocking back and forth, go side to side like this. Go forward and backwards, circular motions, diagonally, and experiment with those motions. If any of them help you out a little bit more, keep doing this over and over again until that muscle spot, or I should say that muscle spasm, finally releases. And then from there, you can just switch over different spots as needed. I would really focus on the glute medius too, which is on the outside close to the hip right here. So putting the ball off to your side and then kind of tilting your body like this and repeating, making sure to hit that muscle. It's a big instigator of a lot of hip and pelvic issues. The next muscle that we're going to focus on is the quadratus lumborum, which is a big pelvic stabilizer. It pretty much is found right at the bottom of the ribs, off to the side of the spine, towards the top of your pelvis, right here in that pocket. So take your ball and really explore that area, doing different motions and attacking any spot that feels like it needs it just a little bit more. The last muscle is the spinal erectors, or the erector spinae muscle group, I should say. For this one, it lies right off to the side of the spine. So you're not going to put the ball over the spine, but just about an inch over, and then repeating this process, going from the top of the pelvis right here all the way up into the middle back. But do this on the left side and the right side, addressing any spot that needs it a little bit more and repeating this until everything is nice and loose. In this part, we're going to focus on addressing muscle weakness that may be leading to anterior pelvic tilt. The three main muscles that we want to focus on are the hamstrings, the glutes, and the abdominal muscles. So here's a really easy exercise that's going to target all of those muscles and also help maintain really good pelvic posture. This one is what I call the next level bridge. Very easy to do. Again, we can do this one in bed or on a floor. Just start lying flat on your back, knees bent, feet flat. I'm going to go over three different motions. The first one is going to be the easiest. This is just the basic glute bridge. So for this one, we want to do our Kegel exercise like we did in that first part, sucking our belly button towards our spine and then squeezing our glutes. From there, you can take your hands and put them on your hips or off to your side like this for support. But what I'm going to do is just raise my hips, driving them up towards the ceiling until my body is in a nice straight line from my knees to my hips to my shoulders. In this position, you should feel a ton of muscles start to fire: the core, lower back, glutes, and the hamstrings. If you struggle doing this exercise, let's say you have a lot of tightness or weakness, and you can only go up just a little bit, do the best you can. Over time, hopefully you'll gain strength and flexibility to get into this position. You want to hold this one for about 5 seconds, and then from there you're just going to relax, and then you're going to repeat this one 10 to 15 times. And with each repetition, try to build into it just a little bit more. And if it feels like you have a little bit more energy, you can always throw in another set or two. I really like this exercise also because it helps reset the pelvis by pressing forward just like this. So the next movement that we're going to do is going to target the glutes just a little bit more. This is known as a clamshell bridge. So the difference with this one is we're going to put our feet together, press them together like this, and then drive our knees outward as much as we can. You should feel a really good stretch forming on the inner part of your thighs, towards the groin, and then also into the hips. Really focus on feeling this one on the outside of your hips. From there, the movement is very similar. We're just going to drive our hips upward towards the ceiling, but you're going to notice this one's just a little bit more challenging. What you want to do, again, hold this one for about 5 seconds. You're going to relax, and then repeat this one up to 10 to 15 times, throwing in as many sets as you would like. The last movement is called the hamstring walkout. This one is going to target the hamstrings on the back of our thighs right here. So let's get back into our original bridge position, just like this. The difference is, this time around we're going to press our heels down into the bed or the floor and then point our toes up towards the ceiling. From here, we're just going to slowly walk out with our heels. The more that you go out, the more that you're going to really feel those hamstrings start to fire. So really challenge yourself to walk out as much as you can, and then come back, and then just repeat this exercise roughly about 3 to 5 times. But again, you can throw in as many sets as you like. In this part, we're going to release tight muscles that are highly associated with anterior pelvic tilt. This includes the iliopsoas, the hip flexors, quadratus lumborum, and the erector spinae muscle groups. The great part about this exercise, it's a combination one that's going to target all three. The only thing that we need is a sturdy chair, preferably one without wheels, but you can also use a staircase. To get into position, you're going to start with one foot up on the chair or the stair. The other leg is going to go behind us like this. wrist straight at the knee. Have your back nice and straight, and what you want to do is tighten your core muscles. Again, that's like taking your belly button towards your spine. From there, what we're going to do is just lunge forward with our body weight as much as we can. You should start to feel a deep stretch form over the front part of your back leg. That's over the hip flexors and that psoas muscle. Once you feel that, you're going to hold this position and take it to the next level by taking your arm on the side of your back leg and putting your hand overhead. What we're going to do is tilt away towards the other side. So if my back leg is on my right side, I want to tilt towards my left. As you do this, you're going to feel a deep stretch form pretty much from the bottom of the ribs going into the lower back towards the hip. That's the QL, or the quadratus lumborum. So really focus on feeling it right here. You want to hold this comfortably for 20 to 30 seconds. But if it feels good, you can definitely hold it for longer and do nice, slow, controlled breathing. Just let out as much tension as possible. From there, you're going to relax, take a breather. On the next repetition, try to build into it just a little bit more. Repeat this one 3 to 5 times, and then when you're done on one side, switch to the other just to keep everything in balance. So let's now move on to the second part of this exercise. We're now going to turn our attention to the erector spinae muscle group, which is a band of muscles that run on the side of the spine the whole length of your back. To get into position, we're going to start seated with our legs wide enough that our chest will be able to fit through, just like this. Start off by taking your hands and then putting them on the back of your head. You're going to gently pull forward, tucking your chin towards your chest. The goal with this one is to feel a really light stretch from your neck into your upper back. Once you feel that, you're going to hold this. To take this one to the next level, we're now going to deepen this stretch to be felt in the middle back. So I'm going to round my upper back like this, driving my elbows towards the floor, moving through my shoulder blades. Again, what you want to feel is a really deep stretch pretty much from your neck to your upper back towards your middle back now. Once you feel that, you're then going to hold this position. The final movement, I'm then going to pivot forward through my waist, lowering my elbows towards the floor as much as I can. You should now feel that stretch move down into the lower back, and it usually feels really, really good. Hold this position for 20 to 30 seconds, but if it feels good, you can definitely hold it for longer. And then from there, you're just going to relax and take a breather. On the next repetition, try to build into it just a little bit more. Repeat this 3 to 5 times. If the exercises helped, please support the channel by giving this video a like and maybe subscribing too. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.